All right, so then the prom airs the next week, May 11th, 1999. Um,
Can I say
now,
something about this episode?
yeah,
I was a crying mess during this episode. I was such a little baby at the end of this episode. Oh
I
man.
I cried too, and I've seen it like a million times.
Oh, it was beautiful. I thought I
Yeah,
loved it.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's favorite episode of the series, by the way.
Wow, that's a great fact. I love
hmm
that. Do you know everybody else's favorite? Are we gonna get there?
Um, I feel like once we get to some of them, I'll remember. But yeah, that I do very distinctly remember her saying that.
Okay, Joss. Do you know Joss's list? You said he had like 9 out of 10 of them are his. Do you
Yeah,
remember which one his favorite is?
yeah, Innocence is his favorite of all time. The
Well,
one
that's
with the judge and the rocket launcher and shit.
that's
Where
crazy.
it's the first one where Angel goes bad.
Yeah, is that when he moans in the microphone?
I
Is that that
don't.
episode?
It might be.
I think it is that not when they have sex?
Yeah, no. Well, they have sex at the end of the previous
Oh,
episode, but yeah,
passion.
I think she like no surprise. I
Oh,
think
right,
she
sorry.
dreams about it, and that is the one with that. But
Wow, what a
it is a great
weirdo.
episode.
All right.
All right. Now here's something. Shel Silverstein died, Logan.
Yeah, she's an
Familiar with
author.
she? Dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was over like Shelby or something.
No, Shel Silverstein. It's like the Giving Tree.
Yeah,
He
I know.
wrote
I
poems
know.
like for kids and shit.
Hmm.
He dies same day, Logan. Sabrina Carpenter is born. Maybe Sabrina
Wow.
Carpenter is the resurrection of Shel Silverstein.
It's like I've told you how when the Queen died, Trisha Paytas had a baby, and everyone was
Yeah,
like, "The Queen is Trisha's baby." It's so perfect that Trisha Paytas had a baby when the Queen died. It's so
I
funny.
know. I fucking love Trisha Paytas.
She's like getting
She's one of
bullied
the
online,
funniest celebrities. She
or not,
should.
or not really, or like there's like. Do you know who Miranda Sings is? We don't have to talk about Miranda Sings, but there's like a
I've
whole
heard
bunch of
of
stuff
her.
about like her and like she bullied Trisha Paytas a long time. How do you say her last name? I feel dumb saying Paytas, but
Yeah, that's how you say it.
but she's there. People are talking about her right now. Anyway,
I used to follow the subreddit about Trisha Paytas, and they would like she has like an OnlyFans, and they would like comment on her OnlyFans
hmm
pictures.
yeah.
And I remember one time she accidentally posted a picture where you can see like skid marks on her underwear.
Oh no.
Oh, what a mess! I love it. Okay, um, so number one song in America still "Living the Vida Loca," but over in the UK, they're already up on "I Want It That Way, Baby"
Yeah, great for
by
them.
the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, one of the great pop songs of all time. And
You just
this
think
is
of
also
Brooklyn 99 when you hear that song now, though.
no,
That's all I think of, and I never even seen that show.
no, it was just so big. Like all I can think of is the video.
Yeah.
Them on that at that airplane hangar greeting their fans and shit. The Ricky Martin album got released this day. All right, so people who have been listening to "Living the Vida Loca" on the radio for the last few weeks, they're buying the album the same day the prom comes out.
Hmm.
Uh, all right, the number one movie in America, The Mummy, of course, debuting at number one, and I saw that in theaters, but I also saw this week because it went into wide release. Election.
Wow, very fun.
Yeah, that's a good week. Wrestling. WCW had Slamboree. The main event was Kevin Nash defeating Diamond Dallas Page for the World Championship. And over in the WWE, do you want to know what the state of women's wrestling is at this point in time?
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
All right, we get a title match: Sable versus Deborah. Okay, Sable, who recently
Say it funny. You have to say it funny.
what?
Deborah. You have to say Deborah funny.
Deborah,
Yeah, great job.
Deborah. Yeah, Sable was just like a hot lady, and she had premiered in Playboy recently at this point in time. And Deborah was another hot lady who couldn't wrestle, and she was married to Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, that's who's
Okay.
fighting for the championship. special guest referee Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, and Sable wins the match, but then Shawn Michaels awards the title to Deborah because he likes her tits.
That was the reason.
Yes.
Deborah didn't have nice boobs.
Sable. So they both had nice boobs, but
You're saying he picked Sable because hers were good. But
no, Sable won the title.
But Sable was in Playboy. Why not her?
Well, I don't know. Because
I don't know.
Deborah's boobs were over at the time because Jerry the King Lawler used to call them puppies.
Oh, I know about that.
Yeah. All right. So that's the
Yep.
state of women's wrestling.
Yeah, great.
A lot better these days, thankfully. All right, let's talk about The Prom. It's written by Marty Noxon, one of the stalwart Buffy writers, and directed by David Solomon. And this is David Solomon's only second episode of Buffy. He joins like the regular rotation next year. But the only two episodes that he's directed at this point are this and What's My Line Part 1, which was Marty Noxon's first episode of Buffy.
That's very cool.
Yeah. All right, so May 11th, 1999, that's what's going on. Let's hear your thoughts on The Prom.
Okay, well, first of all, next week is the finale of Buffy, and that episode is July 13th. Okay?
Yeah.
And we'll be recording that episode on July 13th. How about that?
Wow, how about that? That was so frustrating at the time, Logan, because the first part, it was a two-parter. The first part aired like the normal time in May or whatever, and then the second part got delayed because of Columbine. You had to wait like fucking 2 months to watch the second part of that episode. It was so frustrating as a Buffy fan, and I remember staying home like on a beautiful summer night to watch that Buffy episode.
Well, it was all worth it, right?
Of course it was.
Damn, I cannot imagine. That is crazy. Why didn't they just give it to you guys? Does something crazy happen in that episode too that's like Columbine?
It's not, I mean, Earshot I can understand way more than this one, but I mean, I know why they did it, but it's stupid.
Okay. Well, we'll find out in 1 week. All right, so we wake up early morning and I sort of thought they had sex again. I didn't really understand what was going on. She says like post slaying nap time, but I thought that was kind of code for something. But no, they don't. Nothing happened, right?
No, they napped after slaying,
Yeah,
and
they took a nap.
they slept all the way till the morning.
Yeah, exactly. And so she's like, I need a mirror. And he's like, I'm a vampire. I don't have mirrors. Get over it. And so she leaves, right? She heads home.
Well, first she opens the fucking flap, lets the sun in. that almost kills her boyfriend.
Yeah, that was upsetting. And they're like, oh, I guess we just lost track of time. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But she leaves. Oh, well, first of all, she plans to like, after the prom, I'm going to come back here. And she's like, we're going to get like a shelf for me. And like, I'm going to move some of my stuff in, you know?
A drawer. Yeah, I need a drawer in your crypt. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like getting real close again. But no, not really how things go. Go to school. Anya, she's in this episode. Great to see Anya. And she goes to Xander. And I thought this was all very funny.
Yeah.
She hates men, right? That's like her characteristic, is that she hates men. But now she's not was she a witch beforehand?
She was a vengeance demon.
Okay, she was a vengeance demon. But now she, after the wish was it that episode when they trapped her here and they got everything back to normal? Probably that episode, right?
Yeah.
And so now she's just stuck here as a normal 12th grader, and she's like, fuck men. But Xander, will you go to the prom with me? Because now she's like, I feel normal feelings, and so that's all very fun, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And Xander says yes, they're gonna go to the prom together. Anya and Xander. A lovely couple.
I think so. I really like them together. I like the part where she's like, I always see you looking at my breast. And he's like, that just means my eyes are open.
Yeah.
Crazy. And Marty wrote this episode. I thought that was very funny.
Mhm.
But I didn't even know that at the time. I didn't even know that till after the episode. But so Buffy, she's like, I got a dress picked out, and Angel's gonna lose it, not his soul. That was weird. Um, and so here we go. Jo- this is this is sort of what I mean by rushed. It's like Joyce just comes over and she's like, "Hey,
It's not rushed though. Like they knew this was happening. They knew Angel was getting a spinoff like mid-season. All right, it had been announced, and so it's not rushed. It's just like, what more are you gonna do with it?
have one scene of Joyce like contemplating if she wants Buffy to like make her own decisions or her
What, you're
to
gonna
just
show Joyce like alone in her bedroom, just going like, "Oh, Buffy."
what they see what they did that you were right about is they killed off her friend. She should have had that friend that she could talk to.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. We could have had her talking to Pat about it.
Yeah, what do I do, Pat? I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know what they could have done really. But I was just like, what? What? It's crazy. But so Joyce shows up, and I thought it was a cool touch. She sees the handcuffs, and she's like, "What are
Yes.
those?" That was very funny. And but she tells Angel, "Listen, you're fucking old as hell, and my daughter is like gonna. She has a bright future ahead of her. Possibly, you gotta." She basically says like she is like a teenage girl. She's never gonna make her own right decision for her. So you have to end things. You have to be the one to like break it off with her. And he
Yeah.
does it.
Angel gets it because he even acknowledges in that scene, I'm old enough to be her ancestor.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, Joyce is coming as a mom to tell him this. Angel's hundreds of years older than Joyce.
Mhm.
All right. So, and also there's that moment earlier in the scene where Angel finds like Buffy's school books, and like Buffy is like written in pen on one of her school books, Buffy and Angel forever.
Yeah.
And which is something like a high school girl might do. And I think he's just like starting to
Maybe not a
understand.
12th grader.
Yeah,
That's like an
fair.
8th, ninth grade type
No,
of thing.
you're right. But I don't know. Like Angel's starting to see the error of his ways here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I liked this part in the library where Buffy tells Giles to keep his mind out of the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
That was a very funny line. And Cordelia, she's like, "Hey Wesley, go to the dance. I bet you look like 007." Were they trying out? Were they
Mm-hmm.
trying to get this guy the next James Bond part at this time? Was there a transition
Uh
in '99? Oh no, I think it went Brosnan to Craig, right?
yeah, you still got Brosnan for a little while here. I think Die Another Day was 2002. So Pierce Brosnan, I think, was 007
He's
for the
locked up for
entirety
another
of,
one.
of Buffy. The
Okay.
entire run of Buffy, it's Pierce Brosnan.
All right. But maybe they're trying to age Wesley into the role here, trying to like lay the foundation. Like, hey, who knows, in a few years, Wesley Wyndham Price, he might take over.
It'd be very weird. I mean, he's not British in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a voice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. I think I like him. I think he's doing a pretty
Mhm.
good job.
Well, I
Giles is
think
real though, right?
Giles is British, but I think it's a thing where this actor Alexis Denisof like lived in England for like 10 years or something. So like he knows the accent pretty well. But it's very jarring like hearing him in interviews, like he doesn't talk like that.
That is so cool. I would have never guessed that, honestly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um all right, so here's where we learn about there's a house. We learned that there's a what are they showing him on the TV? Is that important?
He's showing the Hellhounds movies having to do with proms to try and like teach
Mm,
the Hellhounds to like feel anger at the sight of proms. Um,
right.
so we actually see the top of his TV at one point, and he's got Prom Night 4, Pump Up the Volume, and I think 16 Candles.
There's a prom night 4.
Yeah, there's a bunch of prom nights.
Holy shit. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Prom night 4. That's crazy. All right. So yeah, but at first I think, and I don't know how we learn everything, but there's like one scene where we see him in the cage, and then another scene he like breaks out later, and then we see a few different times we check back in. But Angel has a nightmare, right? Of him and
Yeah.
Buffy. They get married, and then Buffy catches on fire and she burns.
Yeah. You want to hear something annoying?
Yeah.
The entire lead up to this episode for like the week before, Buffy, the WB was constantly airing promos for this episode, and they only showed that scene. Like it was just Buffy in a wedding dress and Angel in a suit, and the whole thing was like the Buffy Angel wedding this week, Tuesday at 8 on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then like you tune into the episode, it's just a fucking dream sequence.
What'd you think it was gonna be? You thought they were gonna get married?
I was like, what the fuck is this? It's wild.
Anytime they're never gonna promo something that actually happens, though, right?
I was 13. Leave me alone.
Okay. Also, you might have just thought she was in like a prom dress. They like flat out said because it's called a prom.
I know, but it's a wedding dress she's wearing in that
but
scene.
she's on fire. You would have not seen the wedding dress part of it. I don't know.
We didn't see the fire. We didn't they just showed them like at the altar, and you're like, oh my god.
Okay. But so he has the nightmare, and then he gets Buffy, and they go down in the sewer, and he basically breaks the news to her. He says, Buffy, I have my own spinoff coming out. I can't be around anymore. And it's very sad.
It is a heartbreaking scene.
I don't know. I thought it was like, did you know at the time Angel was coming out?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like I could just see what they're doing too much that it bothered me. But I mean, I need to stop watching things like that. I hate my brain sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, just go with the story. They have to. I mean, this is Angel breaking up with Buffy. That's a really fucking huge scene.
Mm-hmm. The music was a lot also, I thought.
I love the music in this episode.
They were like, I felt, I don't know, it was a little much.
You know, I literally had the thought yesterday watching this, because I remember when I used to write Buffy columns, I did one that was like my 5 favorite Buffy scores of all time. And I was thinking like, this should have been on that list.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. No.
Wow. No, it was good. It was just like really long and really loud, and they're really acting.
They are though. Sarah Michelle Gellar's great in that scene.
She is. Spoiler alert: my MVP is Buffy for this episode.
I remember reading that she committed to that scene so much, like it was the kind of thing where like she just like couldn't stop herself from crying for like a half hour after filming it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Angel was fine after. He's like, why is she? David was fine.
Poor Adams was like, what's acting?
Oh man. But it's a good scene. He basically says like after everything that goes on with this season with like the mayor and with the ascension, I'm gonna leave. I don't know where he's going, but he's gonna leave.
He doesn't know where he's going.
Yeah, he doesn't even know. He's just gonna hit the road like Xander.
Yeah, that's a spinoff I'd love to see.
Angel and
Xander and Angel traveling the country together.
That is good. And so Buffy, she tells Willow about the breakup. I like Willow here. She's like, Angel, that fucking jerk. And then Buffy's like, you don't have to like just be mean just to be mean. And she's like, okay.
She's like, that's the friend thing though. I'm the best friend.
Yeah, I really like that moment. Yeah. And here, I think, is where the Hellhounds escape, or where the one Hellhound. We think it's just one originally, right?
Yeah.
This is where he like gets all mad and escapes from the cage.
Well, it is one originally. This one is on purpose breakout because Tucker is gonna like test how it responds to his commands at the the April.
Those other 3 don't exist yet, though.
No, they're like
just in another room.
They are in the other room.
Okay.
But he gets one out there to see what it would do at that April Fool's shop, whether it would like attack people wearing tuxedos.
Right, and it did. It was a success. Right?
Yeah,
great job. And so that's where we go next. We go to the dress shop, and Xander goes. And this is where we already knew she worked there. Xander does not know yet, but this is where he finds out. And she tells him that her dad hadn't paid his taxes for 12 years.
Yeah.
And now he's in jail. She has no car, no house, no phone, no dress, no anything.
Yeah, they're broke. The chases are broke.
Very sad. And then the monster comes in and it attacks and it kills a fancy looking guy and then it leaves. And I thought they did a great job of making us think like, why didn't it attack Xander? Because I thought the same thing. And then the next scene, they're like, why didn't it attack Xander? I thought that was great. Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, basically, must have done it because of the clothes. Cordelia says that other guy had on nice clothes. Xander had on shitty clothes.
And she's right.
She's right. Yeah, she's actually right in this instance. It sounds insane, but she is right. And they somehow they learn that it's the prom. They like look in a yearbook and there's like a guy who.
They're watching a surveillance video from April Fools that I assume Cordelia was able to get. And Xander or somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody spots like a dude who's like commanding the Hellhound.
Right.
And Oz is like, I recognize that dude. Like, because, I was a senior last year and he was in my class then. And it's this fella, Tucker Wells. And so he like points him out in the yearbook to everybody.
Right. And they talk about like another guy, David, but he's not in the episode.
Who's David?
They say that like Tucker he like wrote in the yearbook to David or something. He like wrote some, I don't know. I thought that's what
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I wrote two names. I wrote Tucker and David. So David must have been somebody. But anyway, I like this how Buffy she splits them up into groups. It's really weird the way she splits them up. She lets Cordelia and Wesley go together, and she lets Oz and Willow go together.
Yeah. She doesn't give a shit whether they make out over at their.
Yeah, she's like all for fun. Buffy should be in charge more
because it's prom. It's prom. Like I feel like Buffy's like I'm having the worst time in my entire life right now. Let's let everybody else. Like
that is her whole mission this episode.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Buffy's great in this episode, and so that's what happens. Buffy, she comes back. She has the address to the house, and she says, "You all go to prom. I'll do the rest. You guys go party it up. This is up to me to do." So very cool. I really like this. Yeah. And so Xander, Buffy, Cordelia had this dress that was on like layaway or something, but Xander paid for it for her. So yeah, very nice of Xander.
How about that? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I hope that they get married. I hope they stay together. Get back together. We go to prom. Praise You is playing.
I'm glad you clocked that.
That was awesome. I think this has got to be the biggest song they've ever had.
Yeah, it cuts to the prom. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, very exciting.
Very fun.
Boy Slim on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I wish he was DJing the prom.
Yeah, or DJ Slaughter or whatever
DJ Homicide from Sugar Ray. Yeah,
DJ Slaughter. We learned something about Giles here. How he went to this is sort of weird. He went to an all boys school, but they made some of the boys dress like girls. Did I get that right?
That was Wesley.
Oh, Wesley did that. I thought Wesley was saying Giles did that.
They both back in the old times. They both went to an all boys school, and Giles is like, see, we're awkward around women because of the all boys school, and Wesley is like trying to relate to Giles, and he's like, yeah, like except for those times we'd make the younger classmen wake up and pretend to be girls, and Giles is looking at him like he's a fucking freak, and so he just stops.
That is weird, but all right, so we. I like this. We see all the couples together, right? Like we see Oz at the dance with Willow. Willow looking great, by the way. Everybody looking great. We see Xander with Anya. They're both having the time of their life. And then who do we see?
Jonathan.
We see Jonathan. He's got a date to the prom. This was
Very tall
great.
date.
Very tall. Well, it's just probably just a normal date. But I thought this was cool because they sort of set up like that earlier in that episode. They're like, Buffy, you got to go to prom with Jonathan, and she's like, no. But then here he got a date. He managed to
Yeah.
pull it off. That was awesome. And so we Buffy goes to the house, right? There's like a weird flashback how where like this guy is doing this because he got rejected to the prom one time, so now he wants to kill everybody at the prom.
I love this moment. So Tucker Wells is a new character, and he's more important than you might be expecting. And he's played by this fellow Brad Kane, by the way, who is famous for being the singing voice of Aladdin in all of Disney's
Wow.
Aladdin films.
As you all know, Steve is the talking voice of
That's
Aladdin.
right. Steve from Full House is the talking
What's that
voice.
guy's name?
Something Lasher?
No.
No, maybe not. All right. But when Aladdin's singing, it's this guy.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So
Scott Weinger.
Weinger, that's right. Lasher, I think, is a guy on Hey Dude. Anyway, fucking what am I talking about? Oh,
Aladdin,
Tucker.
this guy.
No, I think this is anticipating the rise of incels.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was pretty funny the way it was done. He was just like, it's like a flashback. He's like, "Hey, we go to the prom with me." She's like, "No," and then he comes
exactly
flashback done.
Because you're wondering like why what is this guy's motive? Like what the hell is he's raising hellhounds to attack the prom? Why would anybody do that? And I love that the motive turns out to be as simple as he asked out a girl once and she said no.
No, I didn't dislike it or anything. I just thought it was pretty funny.
It is funny. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
probably what
funny.
they're going for. It's what they're going
Yeah.
for. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't dislike it. By the way, I went to Buffy on IMDb and like the pictures started moving at the top, and it moved to that one where she's in high school. Angel goes to visit her when she gets called. What's that episode called?
Becoming Part 1.
Yeah, and she's like wearing like her popular high school outfit. She has that sucker.
Yeah. Sucker.
She's so funny in that scene.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so they escape or whatever. I actually forgot where we were. Oh, the flashback, and we learn there are three. He says she sees the empty cages, and he's like they're all going to the prom. I sent them all there, and so what does Buffy do? No big deal. Buffy just tracks them down and kills them all in like 2 minutes. It's awesome.
Well, I like when she's chasing them and then they get distracted by the song "Celebrate" by Kool and the Gang playing, and they make their way towards the other building.
Yeah.
She
just like takes care of business though. I thought she was really cool here.
Oh yeah, she just like snapped all their fucking necks in the hallway.
Yeah, and then she pulls out her dress and goes right into the prom. It's awesome. Yeah. And
I like the moment where they're in the prom worrying about what's going on. And I forget who says it, but it might be Oz. And he's like, "Do you doubt that Buffy is going to do this?" And Will is like, "Oh, I guess you're right." And they just keep dancing. That's great.
Yeah. And she fucking does it. And I love everything at the prom. We learn the class clown.
Yeah.
Right? Have we talked about him before? I don't think so.
No, this is a new character, but much to Xander's chagrin, because anybody could be a prop class clown.
Yeah, a little Seinfeld reference, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I don't know if it really is, but love that part. And then we see Jonathan goes up on stage, and he's going to award something that they've never awarded ever in the history of Sunnydale, and it's because apparently this is the. Did I get this right? It's like the safest graduating class ever, or like the least amount of deaths.
The lowest mortality rate of any graduating class in Sunnydale High history.
Yeah, which really moved me. I have to admit, I loved it. It's like such a silly thing, and it's sort of weird because now everybody is like aware of like Buffy, and you're supposed to kind of raises questions, but it's just so sweet, I think.
Well, it shows that like they don't know Buffy's the Slayer or anything, but they all understand like weird shit happens at the school all the time. And you even hear like some of them call out, someone goes, someone goes hyena people, and someone
Snyder.
goes zombies. Yeah, Snyder. That's a good joke. And and they're just like acknowledging like you're clearly always around. There have been things that have happened, like the doppelgang land is all at the fucking or the harvest where it's all at the bronze. Like everyone's there. They see Buffy do some shit. Or like that huge house party where Buffy defeated all those zombies. Like there have been so many instances where like weird shit's going on and Buffy's there. All right. So fucking it makes sense. Like this is just a great acknowledgement of that.
Yeah. But it really changes the whole show.
Absolutely it does. Yes.
Yeah, but in that moment you're not even really thinking about that, or I wasn't, because I couldn't see because my eyes were so watery. But I wasn't that much of a mess. I'm making it sound crazy, but it's just so sweet, and her getting this acknowledgement after all this, after she's been like, what's really the point of everything? Everyone's like, yeah, no, we've been seeing you, Buffy. We know everything, and I really loved it. I thought it was like one of the best parts of Buffy so far. After like sort of like an episode that I was like, it was like a fine episode, like everything with Angel and Joyce. I was like, this is fine. But this really, I thought was great.
Yes, the Class Protector Award.
Yeah, I sent Daniel a text and Buffy crying, and I said, me watching this episode. And it really was.
It's beautiful. And it's even more beautiful that it's Jonathan giving. I mean, she stopped Jonathan from committing suicide.
We don't know that yet, though, do we?
It's funny because like watching the show now, that, right? Because you watch it with earshot in the right order. But yeah, I remember watching this the first time and just being like I was aware of Jonathan, like I knew him as a character, but like it felt
harder now.
Yeah, I think like at the time I was like, well, Jonathan's like an auxiliary high school character that we've like has had a lot of dialogue and shit. So like we need,
and it makes sense for a teacher to be like, hey, Jonathan, go present this thing.
Right. So like it made sense, but it does hit so much harder after you've seen Earshot.
Yeah, definitely. But I did think about that. I was like, they don't even know that yet. This is funny. But and another part at the dance where Wes, I guess we can call him, he's talking to Giles. He's like, God, I'm so hard right now looking at Cordelia. And Giles is like, she's 18. Stop bothering me. Go talk to her. Get out of here.
Yeah. I love that moment where he's like, yeah, you're gross, but like stop fucking fluttering around me. You're clearly gonna go hit on this 18-year-old. Go do it.
Yeah. Pretty weird though, because it is well, does he have a job at the school? I guess not.
Who, Wesley?
Yes, he only. That's kind of weird.
It's
actually
absolutely insane that Wesley's at the prom.
No, this is why. No. This is actually a point that we need to talk about, because Giles he had an excuse for being at the school always because he's a librarian. What is Wesley's excuse when anyone is like, "Hey, who the fuck are you?" What does he say?
Well, I guess no one's ever said that.
But does he not have a job at the school? Like,
no.
What does he say in the chance that does happen? He has no cover. This is interesting.
I guess he says that like
have we missed something?
Giles's intern or something. I don't
know. I feel like they've fucked up, kind of.
No, come on.
They have. If
it's
Giles
just not something you need to acknowledge.
No, it is. It is. If Giles was just the watcher at the school every day, we would have problems. But he's the librarian, so he never did. And now,
Giles is there over the course of years and years. Like Wesley's just there the second half of the season.
But he's gonna stay around more. He's your favorite character ever.
Well, you'll see.
All right, we'll move on. So what happened? Oh, Angel shows up. Oh my God, just when I thought I couldn't cry anymore. You know what I love in TV? When someone doesn't show up to the prom, but then they do show up to the prom.
That is nice.
That happens in 13 Reasons Why, and I cried during that too. I'm not kidding. But they do that here. Angel, he wasn't going to be there, but then he's like, you're going to have one great night, right? And this doesn't change anything with us, but because the whole thing in this episode, like earlier, she saw Angel at like that blood factory
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
a meat packing plant.
And she's like, I'll never have a good high school night. But now he's like, I'll give you your high school night. And so he shows up and they dance
Well, I like
and
the
it's
way this whole
beautiful.
thing. I like Buffy talking to Giles before that, and
I thought
Giles.
they should have danced. I thought that would have been beautiful.
But they have a nice little moment where Giles is like, I can't. I never believed that teenagers in masks could be so gracious, and like acknowledging the class protector, like and saying like you did great work tonight. There's such a bond between Giles and Buffy at this
But
point.
I
And
thought he was gonna ask her to dance, or she was gonna ask
I
him to
think
dance.
I
That would have
think
been so
probably I
good.
think probably he was going to, but then he
Yeah.
spots Angel from far away, and he goes, he's she says like some people can surprise you, and Giles spots Angel, goes like, yeah, every now and then, and he takes the protector award from her,
Yeah.
she turns around and sees Angel there, and they're playing the song "Wild Horses" by the Sundays. It's a cover of a Rolling Stones song. It's a really beautiful, beautiful cover. It's also played in the classic film Fear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. It should have been closing time because it's the end of the episode.
No, this is absolutely gorgeous. I used to
Imagine
listen.
closing time playing during this part though.
Stop it. I used to listen to this song, like literally, like I had it on like Napster or something. I would listen to it and just like get emotional about Angel coming to the prom.
I know who I want to take me home. I know you don't like that. You don't wish that was playing during this.
I love that song, Logan, but I think they made the right choice.
Yeah, I have no beef with it. And you're right. Like I was watching like, oh, she's gonna dance with Giles. This is gonna be so good. And then Angel showed up, and I was like, oh, that's a good alternative too. That's good. I didn't have any problem with it. I like how they did everything. But I'm gonna give this episode 4.
Me too.
The Prom. Great episode. Thought it was much better than the last episode, and I'm gonna rank this one 14 between no higher than 14. I'm sorry. I'm gonna rank this one. Wow, is this a really high episode?
Yeah, for me it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at them, and I think it might be. I think it might be 8 between Prophecy Girl and The Wish. No, maybe higher than Prophecy Girl. This one really got to me. I have to be honest. Maybe all right, 7 between Helpless and Prophecy Girl.
All right. I like The Wish more than this one. So read me down from there.
Okay, you have The Wish number 5. So The Wish, Earshot, Prophecy Girl, When She Was Bad, Lover's Walk, my favorite episode, Helpless, Lie to Me, The Zeppo.
Wait, Lover's Walk. Helpless is after Lover's Walk?
Then Lie to Me, The Zeppo.
Put this between Lover's Walk and Helpless.
All right, this is both a top 10 episode for both of us.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, so it'll get knocked out at some point for you. Maybe it'll stay in the top 10 forever for me. Who knows? It's like number 6. But okay, so my MVP is going to go to Buffy Summers for this episode.
Buffy Ann Summers.
Yes, I thought she was great.
Yeah, she's the MVP of this one for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm refreshing our Buffy thing. And my LVP, I wrote Joyce, but it's like, what are they going to do? Right.
I love Joyce. That scene between Joyce and Angel's good.
And I like that she sees the handcuffs. That is also very funny. I don't want to go Oz. I don't want to go Anya. I don't want to go Wesley. Well, Wesley. Maybe you can go Wesley.
I mean, yeah, he spends most of the episode hitting on a high school girl. So,
and what did that mean when he dressed up the younger people as girls?
What? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, something creepy's going on with that guy.
Maybe I go Wesley for this episode. I don't know who else to go with. I like the Hellhounds.
I'm
the Hellhound bad
with,
guy, the guy raising them.
Tucker Wells. I'm gonna go with Cordelia's boss for
her dad for not paying his taxes.
Oh, that's a good one too. But
I'll do that one for making her poor. I'll go her dad for not looking out for her and making her poor.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
All right. Well, fuck you, Mr. Chase. All right, there we go. We have a lot of comments. Do you want me to read them? Do you want to read them? You never read any comments.
No, you read them.
All right. Josh Merlis. or probably the MVP of Buffy's Angels. Would you say? He comments every single week.
I think so. It could be, yeah.
Um, Angelica second place, but she messed up last week. maybe if Josh misses a week, Angelica could take over. So Angelica,
Yeah.
you just got to keep going and hope that Josh messes up one week.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
All right, so Josh Merlis says episode 1. They set that thing up with Willow and the pencil way back. Guess that was in Dan's thesis. Yeah, was that in your thesis, Dan?
I'm not sure that it was.
Yeah, you're right, though. We talked about it, Josh.
I'll tell you what, next week's episodes, I wrote like 20 pages on in my thesis. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, I can't wait. Episode 2. This episode is off the rails. Xander and Anya, hellhounds trained to hate formal wear. Wesley is disgusting. Why is this allowed? Class protectors, stop it. I'm crying. Oh, I thought he was going to be upset. Yes, I was crying too. Angel showed up. I'm wailing. Me too, Josh. Me too. Oh, I'm so glad you felt the same way. Also, I'm a little surprised that everyone is fully embracing the prom. I keep expecting someone to point out how stupid it is that they shouldn't care about it. Why wouldn't they care about it?
I mean, that's a trope on TV. I remember Dawson's Creek, they didn't go to the prom because they didn't let their gay friend bring a date. So
Yeah.
that was the thing. I think the episode was called the anti-prom or something.
He thinks that they shouldn't go to prom just because like there's bad stuff's going on.
No, just because prom's lame. I think
I didn't go to
thing.
prom. I never went to my prom.
Yeah, a lot. I don't remember whether Josh did, but my friend Nathaniel definitely didn't. I wasn't going to, except I had a girlfriend at the time. I kind of wanted to go to prom because of television, though.
Yeah,
There's so many good prom episodes of shows, including like, this one.
Yeah, no, I understand from like a TV like story and like from a storytelling perspective also kind of.
Yeah, I remember at my prom they played Earth Angel when everyone was sitting down eating their like dinner or whatever, and they played like they stopped playing like dancey shit and they started playing like oldies, and they played Earth Angel, and I was like, oh my god, I want to be like Marty McFly at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. And so I made my girlfriend get up and dance with me to that song. We're like the only ones dancing.
All right, Alex Ruderman says, finally caught up. Never watched Buffy before 3 weeks ago. Loving it so far. Love Cordy in the second ep, but yeah, what the fuck is WTF is Wesley doing? And Giles just saying, go for it. Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Come on, it was a different time when a girl's street legal in 1999. You were able to pounce,
and he's not even a teacher, so
yeah,
there really aren't any problems with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Like Josh mentioned this and Ruderman mentioned this, and so I started thinking about it, and I had that on my mind while I was watching the episode.
But maybe they
yesterday.
think that Wesley is some kind of teacher, like I sort of thought before this episode.
And maybe I feel like people think Wesley's older than he is too. Like he's dressed in suits all the time, and he's like a prissy British man. So I think people have him clocked around the same age as Giles or something.
Oh, I don't think that at all.
Way, way younger than Giles.
Yeah, I think he's closer to the kid's age than Giles' age.
Yeah. I think he's probably supposed to be like 24 or something.
Yeah. All right, so Angelica Joy says episode 19, MVP to the mayor. You want to hate him, but you can't because what he tells Buffy and Angel is so honest and true. Still early, but I mean a huge contender for best Buffy villain ever. Your podcast continues to give me life. Thanks for all you do, gents.
Look, the mayor. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, thanks so much. But the mayor is my favorite Buffy villain, and I love him in that scene. I think he's absolutely a contender for MVP of that episode.
Yeah, I think we went Willow, didn't we? Willow's great. She had a lot of great moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mayor, I would say the best villain that we've had. Because even the mayor or even the master needed that little fuck boy to tell him what to do. Colin, remember Colin?
Yeah, of course I do.
He had to answer to Colin. Mayor's not doing that.
No,
who was the bad guy in season 2?
Angelus. I think Angelus is the only contender to the mayor.
That's good.
Yeah.
I might go Angelus. He fucking snapped the neck of Giles' girlfriend. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Love the mayor. She says episode 20. Pretty sure this is what I wrote in my accidental spoiler.
Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
it is. It is.
I cannot watch The Prom without crying. It's top 5 episodes for me. Buffy getting her umbrella is one of the most cathartic events. Yeah, that I love that. It was like an umbrella too. That was really nice. And I liked how she reacted to it. She was like, "I got a nice little toy."
Yeah.
She talked to Giles. Or she's like an unexpected little toy surprise.
A toy surprise. Yeah.
Loved that. I thought that was so cute. And most cathartic events in the whole series, but made even better by the fact that it's Danny delivering her speech. Oh, Danny.
That's Danny Strong, the fellow who plays Jonathan. Yeah.
Also, bros, the Lucius and wondrous creature that is Anya the Vengeance Doom, or the demon. Love that horrendous and horrible afflictions conversation for Xander. LOL.
Yeah. She's a big Anya fan. I feel like anytime Anya's in an episode, Angelica talks about it.
I like her too. Every time she's shown up, I really, and I would have, even if not for the Darkness Falls thing, even if I didn't know about that, I would still like her a lot.
She's great. She's around quite a bit going forward. So
can't wait.
Yeah.
Tim, should we just ignore this?
No, read it.
All right. Tim says, please mention how Tim is winning the Spielberg draft and it ain't even close. Don't say ain't or your mama will faint. Something like that. Grandma will faint. You ever hear that? The power of Raiders and Jurassic Park. Imagine picking Ready Player One. Yeah, I can't.
The fact of the matter is, when I'm doing drafts for episodes, I'm trying to make the episode as funny as possible. I'm not really paying attention to the draft. So in my mind, it's really Logan versus Tim. So the only loser here is Logan.
Oh. But same for me. I'm just trying to make it as funny as possible. Oh. So it's Tim competing against himself when you think about it. So if he lost,
what a loser! Really trying to win. I know.
Yeah. All right. So there you go, Tim. Congratulations, I guess. I don't know. But there you go. Thank you to everybody. Seriously, thank you guys. And one more episode. I don't have to guess what it's about because it's called The Graduation.
No, it's called Graduation Day Parts 1 and 2.
I guess it'd be weird if it was just the prom, the graduation. Then we're just doing Seinfeld stuff. The Graduation Day Parts 1 and 2. So they're going to graduate. Mayor is going to attempt the ascension. I don't know if it's going to be a success or not, but I assume we're going to get all that. Faith is going to be back. Her knife, Dan told me, is going to come back. So Anya, I hope, comes back. I can't wait for the next episode. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer so much.
And then we'll see the following week how you feel about a little show called Angel.
Yeah. This is going to be Angel's last episode. Well, maybe not. He'll probably show up again. But for a while anyway, I assume Angel's last episode on Buffy.
Yeah, next week is Angel's last episode as a regular on Buffy.